buy a cruise, like you might spend $600, $700 to get the cruise.
Right.
When you get on board, you're spending your money.
Yeah,
you're gonna
that's
spend.
when they catch you.
You're gonna spend at least $1,000 on board, probably.
I think part of the thing is, like, don't they have this system where they give you a card and you don't pay up front for everything?
Mm-hmm.
You just swipe the card and everything's great.
Yep.
And then before you leave, they're like, oh, by the way, can we see your card for a second? And they're like, oh, yeah. Remember Wednesday night and you brought drinks for everybody? Yeah, you owe us like thousands of dollars.
They do that way. And it's funny because they give you that card and you can spend as much as you want. If you can't pay for it, you can't pay for it.
Well, then what happens?
You can't get off the ship.
Keep you on the boat for another week.
You get charged or something. Oh, there's so many. Okay, this woman bought art, $7,000 worth of art, and couldn't pay for it. So they just didn't give her the art, and she was crazy. She had this reputation on the ship. I was running a paper airplane competition where people had to make paper airplanes and throw them through a hula hoop.
And what, you were the judge?
And I was the commentator. I was like, all right, next up we got, if Johnny's going to be throwing 3 of his paper airplanes. Can he get one of them through the hoop? If he does, he gets a prize. So,
I can't believe they pay humans to do this. This is ridiculous.
I get a lot.
Anyways, go on.
You're not going to like hearing about the events I did during the day then. There's a lot of stupid ones like that. We had an egg drop challenge where you had to build a device with stuff you find on the ship and drop a raw egg from 4 decks up and make sure it doesn't break.
Wow.
All right, so anyway, I was doing the paper airplane competition, and this guy throws a paper airplane, his 3 paper airplanes, and this woman runs from one side of the room to the other, and she goes, can I say... I'm sure I can. She goes,
If you question it, you can't, I guess.
Bastard! Is that bad?
That's okay.
Okay, I didn't know.
It's just your name.
Son and the Holy Spirit. All right. She goes, you bastard! And the guy looks behind her and what? I think she was crazy, and she starts yelling. She goes, you should have thrown it this way! And she was the same lady who was yelling. There were some pretty crazy passengers on board, dog. There were some crazy people who take cruises.
Yeah, right?
One of them.
I mean, first of all, you have to be, like, able to go on the boat for, like, a week and not, like, want to touch land. I mean,
you'd be surprised.
Eventually you get to land.
Eventually.
But, like, 3 days on a boat in the middle of nowhere?
4.
Like, say you were going from Australia to New Zealand.
It's 4 days at sea.
And you said it takes, like, 3 days. And, like, that's 3 days of you seeing no land. Like, just pure water all the time.
Are you saying that people that take cruises are crazy? Is that what you're going with this?
I'm saying I can see how they get crazy.
Ah, yes.
After a certain amount of time.
Fair enough.
Say around 4 months.
Yeah. What? So, yeah, I definitely got a little crazy. Everyone who works on cruise ships are a little bit crazy. There's no doubt about it.
You're boat crazy.
Boat crazy. Ship. It's not a boat. It's a ship.
Yeah, you're shipped in the head.
Well, speaking of shipped in the head, there was this girl who fell in love with me. She was a passenger and like ended up crying on my shoulder because I wouldn't be with her.
Oh, she's a shiphead.
She is. So over the 2-week cruise, she got really interested in me, and after she left, you can't do anything with the passengers. You get in a lot of trouble if you like touch them or kiss them or whatever.
I don't understand. So she was interested in a pale-skinned alcoholic?
Yeah.
She's really setting that bar high, isn't she?
So she goes home and she sent me this Facebook message that was like crazy. Like, here's all the reasons why like I fell in love with you over the past 2 weeks.
Oh, come on. Pull it up and read me this message. I need to hear this.
Do you?
This is great.
All right, you're right. It's pretty much gold.
Oh my God.
Hold on.
The Ginger officially has his first stalker.
This is
great.
You're right. This is definitely one you want to read on air too. Okay, so she sends me these messages, and at first she's hot. Like, I'm not gonna lie, she's hot. She's got good features. She's slim. She's tall. She's blonde, and I lost my train of thought. She's
probably useless. None of you can only get slim, tall, and blonde out. You're talking about her features.
Oh yeah, she was attractive. So at first I was like, yeah, you know what? Maybe this isn't a bad idea. She's not a passenger anymore. I can do whatever I want to now. And I kind of let her on a bit. Maybe like I don't want to take full responsibility for this issue, but I might have let her on a bit. And I told her a day that I could meet in Brisbane. She lived like a really long way away from Brisbane, like 2 hours, 3 hours. And we get near that day, and she goes, so can we meet up? And that day, the girl that I was actually with on the ship, she was a little Chilean girl.
Well, she was cold. She needed a sweater.
She was very cold.
She was Chilean.
She might have been cold because I didn't tell her about this other girl that I was talking to that I might meet up with in Australia. And like, the Chilean girl was leaving on the day that I said, yeah, I might be able to meet up with you, to the crazy blonde girl. All right. So I'm out there putting the Chilean girl onto the bus, getting her suitcases and stuff loaded. I'm outside just for 10 minutes. I'm going to go back in and sleep for the rest of the day. So I load her stuff on. I'm going back to the cruise ship to go to bed. And as I'm walking in the door, there's the blonde girl standing there waiting for me. I'm like, what? What's going on?
Stage 5 crew. Just standing outside the boat waiting? That's not even normal.
I'm telling you. So I see her. I'm like, oh, what now?
Duck!
Well, the thing is, I can't get back into the ship without walking by her. There's no other door. I have to walk by her.
Oh, you just stepped in a pile of ship.
Exactly. So I'm like, this is a shippy situation. So walk up. I have to talk to her. I can't avoid her. And she's like, on a scale of like 1 to insane asylum, how crazy do you think I am?
You're in the red.
So I kind of brush it off and laugh because, once again, she's attractive and she's standing in front of me with her big stupid badonkers hanging in my face. I'm like, well, you're not that crazy. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing here?
By badonkers, what do you mean? Like her big stupid brain?
Yeah, pretty
her big,
much.
Stupid personality that you love?
Her eyes. Her eyes are huge.
They're just big and dumb?
Big and dumb and beautiful to look at. So,
they're the kind of eyes that every time they look at you, it looks like it's, huh? She tilts her head sideways every time like a lost puppy.
Don't be mean.
Huh?
She asked me. Okay. She asked me to go for lunch. And me being too nice, I'm like, yeah, okay, we can go for lunch. That's fine.
I'm surprised you're not buried in New Zealand right now.
So we went to New Zealand, but we're back in Australia at this point in Brisbane. And
I'm surprised you're not buried under a pile of kangaroo dung.
Fair enough. Me too.
Hello, mate. I'm dying here now.
She asked me to go for lunch, and we're sitting there in this really attractive dog. You know Asian girls, how they can get, like, really hot?
No, I don't.
Of course you would never know about that. One of them walks by that's just a 12 out of 10. Oh, a 20 out of 20. And I turn around and I'm like, wow, look at her. And the blonde girl's like, what do you mean look at her? I'm right here. Why are you talking about her? And I'm like, why is this even an issue? Like, we're nothing. We sitting next to each other, that doesn't mean anything. But she goes, before we leave, because I know you need to get to bed, can we talk?
Nope, kind of tired.
Yeah, I actually got to go. She goes, we need to talk about us. Jimmy, how would you feel if a girl that you thought was crazy in the head, like insane asylum crazy, says, we need to talk about us?
Right there.
Sometimes you don't need words. You can just sum it up in a sound effect. So
how is there an us?
That's what I literally looked at her and I was like, there is no us. I literally said that. She starts crying. Do you have a crying sound effect?
It sounds like
she starts doing this sound effect all over my shoulder, hugging me. And I'm like, she goes, even if you say there's no chance, are you sure of it? I'm like, I'm sure there's no chance. She goes, well, even if you say there's no chance, I'm still going to believe that there is.
I have no interest in talking to you, so hit the road.
Hit the road. So, I'm like, you're crazy. I got to go. So I run back into the ship. Keep in mind now, this is a day that we're in port on a turnaround date. There's passengers leaving and there's passengers getting onto the ship, okay?
And you're in there praying. You're like, I hope she doesn't have a ticket for the next cruise. I hope she doesn't have a ticket for the next cruise.
She didn't. Exit Laura, okay? Exit Laura from Crazy Girl status. Like, she sent me this message the next day, and I can't load, dog. For some reason, it's stuck.
Yeah.
And I want to read you the 8 reasons.
She threw her phone into the ocean. She's like, I'll kill him if I ever see him again.
Girl. So I get rid of her. After that, it's a 2-day short booze cruise.
No.
A 2-day booze what?
A booze cruise.
Booze cruise. I'm a friend. You like the booze cruise?
Keep in mind that after this booze cruise,
with the sharks?
we're back. That's what happens when you drink enough booze on the booze cruise. We are back in Brisbane at Brisbane. We're back at our home port in Brisbane after the short 2-day booze cruise, right? We do this short little booze cruise. It was really fun. I don't know if I want to get into this. I feel kind of bad still. I was kind of a homewrecker on the booze cruise. That's a good segue, actually. So there was this blonde girl, and she was really hot with her mom. I don't remember any of this. I might have been a little under the influence, and we were having a deck party.
Might have been.
We were having a deck party where everyone gathers up on the open deck and dances, and the live band plays, and it's a lot of fun. Like, all the passengers go up and dance. So everyone's drunk, and I was like, I'm just going to follow suit. I might as well have a few shots. And
when in Rome or when in Australia, do as the
when
Australians.
in Australia, they drink like fish down there. So I had a good night, and I guess
fish actually really drink.
They do.
All right.
That's how they breathe. So we were dancing,
Well,
and
then it's not drinking; it's breathing.
Well,
anyways, go on.
They drink to breathe.
Sorry.
Should we clear this up?
No.
Okay. Do you know what gills are?
It's hard to clear it up with the water all going in your nose.
That's true. It's in my ears. I can't really hear.
Do I know what gills are? Do I know what gills are?
Yes. Do you know?
No, I have no clue.
I get dancing with this really hot blonde girl, and she ripped the shirt off me. I had this Hawaiian shirt on from Bali that was a piece of crap as it was, and there was only like 3 buttons on it. And I guess she grabbed my shirt, and all the buttons ripped off. So it's flailing. My boss is there. My boss's boss is there. And I get my team to like tie it around me to kind of like look like I'm wearing a shirt. Apparently, I looked really gay at that very moment.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So anyway, I'm sure you can picture that. But this girl who ripped my shirt off.
I like how you assume that I could picture you looking like a gay guy. That's great. That's fantastic. I don't even have to insult you. Like, you just kicked yourself right in the junk and turned around and walked away. That's fantastic.
I guess I did it here too, because you know the girl who ripped my shirt off? She was with her boyfriend. And her boyfriend saw it happen, and that night there was a big fight, and the person who's in charge of the ship, called the night manager, you'll hear about them later in this story. The night manager is the person who's in charge of the ship at night, and she kind of...
And the only time you see the night manager is when you're in a pile of ship?
A pile of ship. So she had to split up their rooms, because apparently the guy was really jealous that this girl ripped off my shirt. Anyway, that was fine. The cruise ended the next day, and they all left the ship. I was like, I'm never gonna hear about this again.
As much as I'd like to blame you, I mean, how did you know? It's not your fault. You're not a homewrecker. You're just like, you're like one of the 3 wolves.
Dog, I'm actually a homewrecker. Do you want to hear that story?
There wasn't 3 wolves. There's 3 pigs and 1 wolf, right? You're one of the wolf. No, you're the wolf.
It turns out that
they had a weak house.
There was 3 stories, actually, as well. And in this last one, you're going to hear how much of a homewrecker. Do you want to... Let's do a commercial break quick, and then I think we can get in.
Oh, man. You're listening to Tales from the Ship.
Can I just say that she was with him for 2.5 years?
Stories from a complete shiphead. On the Buzz, you're listening to CKDJ 107.9.
We need a ship horn.
We'll be back after... these shippy commercials. You are listening to The Buzz on CKDJ 107.9, Ottawa's new music. I've discovered one of the greatest radio stations on Earth. I got access to Sirius satellite radio lately, and I've been stuck on this channel called Backspin. It's just old school hip-hop tracks like this. I've been driving around in my new job all day just singing all these old songs. It's fantastic. Gets you in a great mood. You don't want to get into fights when you're listening to old school rap. It's funny. New school rap makes you want to shoot someone. Old school rap makes you want to, like, dress all good and, like, make money and stuff. Music has changed. And, as I mentioned earlier, we're celebrating International Women's Day a little late this week. And shout out to the crazy that followed the ginger on the boat. And other crazies like, how about this one, Ginge? Catherine Mary Knight. She's the first Australian woman, fits in with the theme of the show and everything, to be sentenced to life imprisonment without parole. She was convicted for the murder of her partner, John Charles Thomas Price, in October 2001, and she's currently still in prison in Silverwater Women's Correctional Facility.
You know, that's a big hat on you can hang that you were the first ever woman in Australia to be convicted.
Do you want to know what she was convicted of?
Sure.
She stabbed her husband to death, and then she skinned him. She then put his skin on a meat hook, cooked his head and parts of his body, and then placed it all together with vegetables on a plate, and place cards and fed it to her children.
No.
Yes, so
Oh!
I want to give a happy International Women's Day to Catherine Mary Knight. Another amazing woman
Oh, God.
that make you just want to celebrate
I think I just gagged.
womanness and womanhood. I got a few more of those on today's show.
No.
But welcome back to the Buzz on CKDJ. Stop acting like it's that. I know why you're coughing. You got to cough to get off. That's what they say.
I want to get off the thought of that story, to be honest.
All right, then. Let's get off the thought of that story and let's get back on the boat.
Well, being International Women's Day, I want to celebrate the beauty of all the different kind of cultures that are out there in the world, you know?
All right.
So that day that the big blow-up happened and there was the fight with the night manager, a Serbian girl joined the ship as well.
Oh, okay.
Enter Serbian girl. Beautiful, short, black hair, amazing eyes as well. Features like you wouldn't believe, dog.
I don't trust them. She's from Russia. You can't trust the Russians. They taught us this from the 60s on.
Well, I trusted them.
Okay. Tell me what happened with this Serbian girl.
So I got talking to
Tell
her.
me about Serbian friend of yours.
Wow, it's kind of spot on. So, turns out that she was on the ship to save money to go backpacking with her boyfriend she was with for 2.5 years.
What a waste of time. You lost me at boyfriend.
What a waste of time, right? But when I heard,
with who? She was there because what?
she was there to save money to go on a backpacking trip with her boyfriend of 2.5 years.
Although, it's odd to find a woman that likes to save money. That's great. Congratulations. She gets a Woman's Day prize.
She must be smart.
What does she get?
She got me not caring the fact that she said that she had a boyfriend for 2.5 years. And
I mean, you did start half of this story with, like, the official statement of you being a homewrecker, so why would you start caring now?
Well, I didn't start at that point, to be completely honest. And it just so happened that one night there was a wine and cheese party. And
now that's the night you should have wore that cowboy outfit.
Well, I don't really think it mattered what I wore because by about let's say 11:30 p.m., I had already drank a bottle of wine, which I don't usually drink, and had my first shot of whiskey.
Ooh, that's not good.
So when you start mixing, this might be educational for you, in which case I'm going to be glad.
What's the deal with you and whiskey all of a sudden?
Dog, I love whiskey.
Okay.
But I also added white Bacardi rum to that mix as well, so I was doing shots of rum and whiskey, Jim Beam and Bacardi. And I had a great time. So I made a lot of friends on the ship, and I would walk into the bar, and I would have to say hi to everybody for 5 or 6 minutes before I even got to sit down and have a few drinks with people. So naturally, after coming into the bar from the wine and cheese event, I talked to everybody, and I had 2 more shots of Jim Beam. And me and my buddy who were drinking Jim Beam, he was from the U.S., we were having a great time, right?
Well, I mean, how could you not have a great time? You're drinking Jim Beam.
Exactly. I didn't have to work the next day until 7 p.m. Also keep that in mind, right? So I'm like, this is going to be a messy night.
All right.
It turned into a pretty messy night, and before I knew it, I had another shot of Jim Beam, and we were starting to shoot some Kahlua. So I started...
I miss Kahlua.
Right?
That's why, if you ever hear me in disgust of something he eats or he drinks, it's out of jealousy, really.
Yeah, Kahlua is a beautiful thing.
Oh, my favorite thing ever used to be those Café Españols.
Frio.
Oh, jeez. Anyways, so you're on to Kahlua after the Jim Beam shot.
I don't know if I want to tell this whole story, but I feel like I need to share it at this point.
You're already halfway off the boat.
You know, I'm fully off the boat at this point, to be honest. So, the Serbian girl, recognizing that I had been having a lot to drink, said, maybe it's time for us to go back to my room. I said, yes, it is.
Okay.
So off we go down to deck 2.
I'd like her to go to my deck, too.
She was a belly dancer for 8 years.
A Serbian belly dancer? Does that even make sense?
Yeah.
Don't they dress like in parkas and stuff in Serbia? Like, isn't it cold?
No, not all the time.
Yeah, it's in the Arctic Circle, isn't it?
No. It's part
Oh, no, I'm getting Serbia mixed up with Siberia.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's part of Europe,
both
dog.
of them sound kind of cold, to tell you the truth.
So it wasn't cold on the ship.
Well, no, because it's summer over... I get it.
That was a low blow. That was really unnecessary.
Tyler's reminding me that it was winter here the whole time. And I have been freezing myself off here.
Yeah, it was 32 degrees that day.
It was 32 degrees here, too. Minus 32.
Minus 30. Yeah, we're going to get to that in a second, the whole post-ship experience with this snow thing in winter. I'm not impressed, to be honest.
We're going to get to your postpartum depression?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Now, you say, why post? Well, because the Serbian girl dragged me back to a room on deck 2, and in the room, there's a bathroom, of course. But that bathroom, unlike mine, is attached to another room. So, if you can picture this, there's this tiny little room, and it's got a sink. Beside the sink, to the left, there is a bathroom attachment. There's a toilet and a shower in there.
In this tiny little room.
So this is kind of like the ghetto of the ship. Like, yeah.
You were living in the ship ghetto?
No, I wasn't. The Serbian was, and that's where her room was. So we went there.
So they put the immigrants in the ship ghetto, and you were in like the white side of the ship?
No. Well, I was in the white. I was in the officer white part. Yeah, that's true.
Yes, racism lives.
No, that's not true. So anyway, this is gonna go downhill quick. There's no real easy way to put it. But I walked into the bathroom and I decided that I was finished in the washroom, and I walked back into the Serbian girl's room, which turned out to be the other person's room because I took the wrong door, which led into the other person's room.
Bravo.
So here I am standing in the other person's room. I'm like, well, it's time for bed, I guess. So I start climbing the ladder into the other person's bed.
Oh my God, these rooms have bunk beds in them?
Yes. There's 2 people.
It's like being 13 years old in the middle of the sea.
Dog.
So these people that you went into their room, do they work on the boat as well?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yeah, this is all like crew in down this area, too.
Oh, so you went in the wrong room. Was it a girl's room or
it
a
was
guy's room?
It was a girl's room.
Oh, wow.
So,
yeah, you messed up.
Here I show up, and the one that I tried to crawl into bed, I never made it into bed with her. The Serbian girl walks in. She's like, Tyler, you're in the wrong room. I'm like, let's go. You're stupid. Then I'm like, I know I am. I'm so sorry. But one of the girls, the one who I didn't try to climb into bed with, got a little angry.
Oh, yeah, you're such a player that she was jealous. So she got, hey, get out of here.
So cue the whole night manager situation again. And it ends up that you're not allowed to drink a lot of alcohol on the ships. And I had been drinking a fair amount that night along with some of my friends. And
does that even make sense to you?
What?
Why would they sell you alcohol at dirt cheap prices if they don't want you to get mashed up on the ship? That's a whole shippy experience.
It was a shippy experience. Because security got involved, and it turned out that I had been drinking a fair amount that night.
Well, yeah, Jim Beam, Kahlua. And you lost count at the 6th shot. You don't know what you had after that.
No. So, anyway, it turns out I had to have a little meeting with the Commodore/Captain and have
What the hell did you just call him? What's a Commodore? It sounds like a 80s early computer that used to play like ColecoVision games, or like you could play Dig Dug with it.
It turns out that it's not any of those things. It's quite
not as fun as it sounds, Jimmy.
Not as fun as it sounds. The Commodore is the captain of all the captains in the Princess Fleet. So there's one of them for 14 captains in the entire company. And he happened to be on our ship.
No.
At this point.
And they told you had to meet with him?
Yes. Very serious meeting indeed.
Oh, and they let you know that it was going to be a serious meeting. I remember getting this call that night.
Yeah.
Like, dog, I think I messed up. I'm like, well, I don't know. What do you mean you messed up? And he told me this story. It was this for like 10 minutes. You went into whose room? For what?
So, I'm not the first person that this has happened to being kicked off the ship for alcohol, and, the story spreads pretty quick, and it turns out that I have one of the funnier situations. Not that it's funny for me.
You're literally a legend on Australian boats right now.
Yeah.
They're like, it reminds us the time of the ginger. He drank too much and went in the wrong room. We had to kick him off the sea.
I had it was hard to say goodbye to everybody.
A pirate instead of an Australian there. Jeez. Go on. You had to say goodbye to everybody. Aww.
But the Serbian, though.
What did you have to say to her? I will speak to you later. Bye-bye for now. I will see you later, Mr. Bond.
I used that accent the entire time, and it turns out that they it was a bad situation at the end there. Needless to say.
Sometimes accents get you sucked in. I was telling you before the show started that I did mushrooms one night, and I did a British accent for about 12 hours.
When did it break finally?
So when I went to bed. When I sobered up.
I wonder if you're doing it in your dreams that night. Like you're sleep talking in an accent.
I wonder if I do it in my dreams still. They have been weird lately.
You've been remembering your dreams recently?
No.
No,
I'm well past that.
Do you ever remember your dreams?
No.
No?
No.
No, me neither.
No. I heavily medicate before I go to bed, so... If I remember them, they'll be wacky dreams.
Here's a good story about medication.
Okay. Great segue, Tyler.
On the flight home, so I left Sunday at 10 a.m., okay? Bear with me here.
There's one part of the story that you're leaving out.
Oh, okay.
How much money did you make on this ship working for 4 months?
Tons. Like, I bought this studio, did I not?
Okay, you don't have to say an exact amount, but, would it be enough to buy a used Honda Civic?
Let's say that it rhymes with about $100 American dollars.
You'd say around 120 American or 140 to American dollars.
Yeah, it's definitely funny.
You came back with nothing.
Nothing.
4 months.
Oh, dog, I spent so much money.
You drank it all.
I drank it all, and I partied, and I bought a lot of clothes, and I had the best time of my goddamn life.